We're live. Got a really close up today. Wait for everybody to come on down. Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. We'll give it about a minute and a half, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Hope everybody's been having a good week. Thanks, Big Country. Deb, I hope you're doing well. It's definitely been busy. That's for sure. So, hello, Jesse. I hope you're doing well. Let's see. And apologies for missing the AMA last Friday. A bunch was going on that I was trying to get done, so kind of pushed everything off until today. So, but yeah, but new episode of the podcast should be dropping this week. Arch and I will be filming, hopefully tonight. Hopefully tonight, so we'll have that. It'll be the first official episode. The last episode was more of a pilot episode. So, oh yeah, like I said, hopefully it's very informative for everybody and yeah, we can get some good viewership. Hello, Cookie. Welcome, welcome. All right. I think 2.5 minutes into it, I think we should go ahead and get started. Anybody else who joins, feel free to backtrack, or if you miss it, then you could rewatch. You could rewatch. So, um, I'll go ahead and give the spiel. I'm Roy Soa, CEO of SolarWind Token and Greater Than Energy, and these AMAs are just informative sessions to give the community updates about what's going on the back end, what we're trying, the updates that we have, some of the delays that we may have, our future goals, what we did the previous week before, and what we plan to do in the coming weeks ahead. So, with that out of the way, I just wanted to get started on. So I know that everybody is anticipating the completion of the D app, and unfortunately, we still don't have it done just yet for it to be tested and released. And I know everybody's very anxious to see when that will come out. And I know that all these delays isn't optimistic in for your eyes or anything, but uh, whenever you're faced with adversity like this, you can either sit back and keep on waiting around and kind of not really get anything done and be frustrated and point fingers, or you can keep on working, try to come up with different avenues and different different solutions to keep progress going and to keep the community happy. So, and not just the community happy, to continue to just keep the development growing overall. So, with that being said, um, I would say probably the biggest news of today is my solar company, Greater Than Energy, has or is about to unleash its first product. Um, so I'll elaborate on that a little bit more. I still haven't quite been able to figure out how to do the screen sharing, so uh, so we'll drop uh, the picture of the product here in the mods chat for everybody to look through. Once we have all the pricing and everything finalized, then we'll have it available for pre-order. The product is going to be purchased or be available for purchase with SolarWind token. So so that's pretty big, first and foremost, because that is going to drive a lot of volume for SolarWind token, because people are going to need to purchase and use that as a form of payment. And with that being said, that should uh, be able to allow some good gains there. So that is the intention, is to get a product out as quickly as possible. The product is a 10 kilowatt hour home battery. So if any of you are familiar with Tesla, we do now have our own product, is the fuel battery. So check out the pictures and everything once we get that after this AMA. uh, you guys will be working on having a pre-order list, and we are doing a seed round for it as well. So there's going to be a total of 30 shares, $5,000 a share. That will, for right now, is only localized in the States, but whoever is interested, you get a battery along with it, along with the shares for this first portion of the product. So um, I'll elaborate a little bit more, but anybody who is interested in being an early on investor in this portion, this is more of a traditional type of investment with seed rounds. As we've been going through the past weeks, one thing that we've been starting to realize is a lot of VCs want to see this happening, this kind of like the ground level, the seed rounds with an actual product out before you start doing a Series A, Series B, Series C. So this is just going to be the first portion of everything. Um, there is going to be a pretty good discount for ordering the fuel battery with SolarWind token to kind of incentivize sales with SolarWind. So we'll just have more people purchasing and purchasing SolarWind and using that as a form of payment. So this is what we're going to be hopefully getting pushed out before the holidays. I know, especially here in the States, uh, and any of you who are watching who are maybe on the wait list for a Tesla Powerwall, you know that it's like a 6 month to a 1 year lead time. So I know a lot of people are frustrated with having to wait so long to receive a battery. So we're kind of taking it into our own hands and giving the product to the people. Our intention is to make it as eco-friendly and affordable as possible. Not a lot of people have $13,000 to drop on a battery. This will be far much more accessible for people, for everyday people to, if they need just some sort of home backup, or if power goes out for a few hours and you need let's see. Yeah, the Tesla batteries are for just retail, just to purchase a battery, it's shot up from like 6,500 bucks to 8,000 this year. That's just for the battery. To get the backup gateway panel, just to do like a full installation for one battery, it's about $13,500. It kind of tapers off the more you order, but yeah, they're definitely not cheap. And for the solar wind community, I don't have an exact price point yet, but it's definitely much cheaper than, let's see, yeah, you need two Tesla batteries to make. Uh, no, so Tesla batteries are actually bigger than the fuel battery. Uh, Tesla batteries have a capacity of 13.5 kilowatts, compared to the fuel battery, at least for now. This is just the first iteration of everything, but it only has a capacity of 10 kilowatts. So I'm excited to share the photo with you guys of how everything will look. Um, Definitely, we'll be needing to spread the name for this. We'll be doing everything on our end to get those pre-orders filled. There's only going to be 50 batteries max for this first iteration of it. So stay tuned. And if you want, if any of you have been needing a home battery, um, just in the States for right now, I believe, I'll elaborate on the European markets a little bit later, but at least here in the United States, if you need a fuel battery with installation and everything, for the solar wind community, definitely purchasing it with SolarWind token is going to be the way to go, until until the token price exceeds what the actual purchase of the battery would be in fiat. Then we'll dip it back down again. Um, so with that being said, that is kind of the main thing that I've been working on, is just making sure that we have a structure to where we're monetizable with an actual product out right now that's in the renewable space. It's something that a lot of people are going to be using, especially in solar. Solar and wind plus batteries go hand in hand with everything. So this is going to be impactful uh, for people who are mining crypto up to a certain capacity. It's going to be impactful for people who are wanting to finance solar projects, because now you can get battery on top of that for a significantly cheaper price than going somewhere else. Um, so that's one thing that you guys can look out for fairly soon. Uh, we'll be working quickly to raise the funds on that, but as you guys know, lots of things can take longer than anticipated. Uh, but that's still not an excuse. Working on making sure that we get everything to go as quickly as possible. So I think this is a really good positive step, um, for SolarWind to be able to represent a product that is pretty much exclusive to the token, uh, and it should drive some really good sales, some really good increases. So, uh, and that's just the first product. There's another one that we're working on the back end as well. It's going to require a lot more research and development, but once it's out, then I think you guys would be pretty impressed with it. So we won't elaborate too much on it now. We'll keep on working on it on the back end. There still will be some R&D going on with the batteries once they come in, just to make sure that they perform like we intend them to. But they look really nice. I'm pretty happy with how they'll turn out, and I think you guys will be too. So if any of you guys are wanting to get on the list, or wanting to do the pre-order, or even interested in the first seed round, then you could go ahead and email the official SolarWind token email, official@solarwindtoken.net, or you can reach out in the Telegram, reach out on Twitter, um, Instagram, and then we'll make sure that we get you the information that you need. So with that being said, I know here in the States we're about to enter Thanksgiving and Christmas. For those of you who celebrate, I hope you guys have some good plans, or if you're just wanting to take that day and relax, then definitely do that. I know I'll be spending some time with family during that time. So, but yeah, does anybody have any questions, any thoughts or concerns? And I guess I will. So one thing I've been noticing in the chats, and I'm not on the chats often, but uh, whenever I hop on, I know it gets frustrating for people who are on there and they're wanting to see significant growth quickly. I just want you to remember that good things take time, and usually it's going to be more difficult than what's portrayed up front. It always is. So we just ask for your patience as we're working through everything. Clearly, we're all still here, and we're not going to tuck our tails and run. Um, FUD happens, yes, and we'll address it when it comes. Um, Slow progress happens, yes, and we'll address that when it comes as well. But just know that we're working day and night to get deals closed, to get products out, to get the D app out, to get everything on our end looking really good for you and for new investors and everything to come. So uh, yeah, I've seen a few comments as well saying that we've been pretty stagnant uh, for the past few months or so, which is, I guess, on the charts. You can say, yeah, that's been the case, but definitely not on the back end. We've definitely been putting in the work, and you can't really judge the quality of work being done just based off of the charts. The chart growth will come here in a bit. Uh, will come after all of these developments are done. There will be obstacles in the way, but the solid team will do whatever they can to get over those obstacles and to overcome. And that's exactly what we're doing right now. So yeah, I mean, this is pretty much the story of every crypto project. Some of them are home run hitters right from the get go, but for the most part, most of them are going to have at least a little brief period of stagnancy or what looks like stagnancy, and then then those people who see the project grow think it happens overnight. Definitely does not happen overnight. It takes a lot of work. I mean, you could look at pretty much every single cryptocurrency out there, whether it's Ethereum, Cardano, uh, Shiba. They've all had their periods of ups. They've all had the periods of downs. They've all had their periods where they've gone a year or even a couple of years without really doing much before they just take off. So the groundwork is being laid, and I have full confidence in the team, full confidence in this project, and we're just going to keep on working day and night until we reach there. So, with that being said, anybody have any questions, any thoughts, any concerns? I'm here for y'all to answer anything that you guys need. So, get those questions out here. So, the D app, that's what I mentioned earlier. We've kind of hit a little snafu with that right now. We are, we are, it's so weird because we're just right there. All the work that needs to be done to have it launched is done. It's just getting it actually launched. That's been kind of a a sore point these past few weeks. So it's it's there. We are still working on getting it completed. Um, and then partnerships for BTC miners. Those are still in the works. For those larger funds, it's kind of taking way longer. All the red tape with everything from legal to negotiate numbers and stuff. It's just taking much longer than what anticipated. It's not, and I don't blame them. It is a lot of liability to handle. Um, but we're still working on those partnerships right now, whether it's the ones that we've been talking to or new partnerships or even potentially making our own. Uh, it's still very much something that we're going to do. Let's see. Upcoming plans for 2022. So upcoming plans for 2022, we actually have a really big one to drop. I don't believe we are quite ready to really talk about it just yet, but there are some big plans for 2022 in regards to the actual token itself. So uh, yeah, everybody on the back end kind of confirm what I'm saying, but it's still one of those things that it's not quite ready to discuss just yet until we have everything looking looking perfect. So um, but yeah, but other plans aside from those ones would be, of course, more partnerships. We'll be reaching out to more VCs. Like I said, this first round of seed rounds for the fuel battery is just going to be the first step into doing a seed fund and then a Series A, Series B. So that will be very impactful to get some institutional funds coming into SolarWind Token. And we'll be working really hard on that. We'll be working on more partnerships, not just with Bitcoin miners, but with manufacturers, with influencers, and everything, even with athletes. Um, that's one route that we're really wanting to go. especially here in the U.S. Um, we have some means to have some pretty good partnerships with some smaller named athletes right now. And then we're going to pretty much expand upon that, until we get, you know, to the biggest and best. So these batteries are going to be lithium ion batteries. So they have a high energy capacity, very light compared, if you guys are familiar with lead acid batteries, those are almost 3 times heavier. And yeah, almost 3 times heavier, half capacity, and like a third of the battery life. So these will definitely be high quality batteries that last a long time. That once they're installed, you don't have to worry about anything. It acts as like a uninterrupted power supply. Let's see. Jesse's question: will the buyback occur before the using of SolarWind token to buy the battery? Can you kind of explain that question a little bit more? I don't quite understand what you're saying or what you're going for. Will the buyback occur before the using of SolarWind to buy the battery? Oh, I think if what you're asking is like, will the team and I do a buyback to inflate the price before that happens? I guess that all depends on whenever we're able to finally close on a contract. So it can happen before or it can happen after, but I think either way, the product should have some good growth in and out of itself. That's kind of like a buyback in and like right there. So let's see. Good questions. Keep them coming. Is there anything you guys have seen in the chats that I can answer as well? Ooh. Okay. Did that kind of answer your question, Jesse? All right. While I'm waiting for your response, let's see. So that's for the most part everything that I had to discuss right now. Stay tuned for the picture and the details on how to enter into these things I talked about before, whether it's the seed round, pre-order, or regular purchase. Then yeah, that uh, feel free to ask anybody for the information once the information becomes available. The picture will be dropping after this AMA for you guys to see on social media, and the pricing will be officially listed uh, either by the end of today or early tomorrow. But at least you'll be able to see the picture. So, anything else? I guess I can kind of show you a picture right now, just on the phone. If you guys want to see just kind of like a bootleg picture on my phone, I could do that. What are you guys' thoughts? Or I could just wait to drop it on social media and on Telegram. So, want to see it? All right. Let's see. Let me get it pulled up here. Let me zoom in. Okay. So here's how. Let's see. Let me back it up a little bit. Oh, Oh no. I don't know if you guys can really see that. One second. That doesn't. It's kind of hard to tell. Uh, yeah, that's kind of like a brief. It's hard to see it on here, especially it being backwards and everything. But uh, yeah, it'll be posted on social media, and you can see a much more clear picture there. But that's you can kind of see that it's got its stands where it can be either mounted on the ground, sitting on the ground, or be mounted on the wall, and it has a nice little display screen. So you're able to see it that way. This is just the first iteration of it. There's definitely going to be updates to it as we come along. Um, but the biggest thing is just the capacity and the price per kilowatt hour compared to other batteries out there right now. Plus the installation feature to it. So, all right, that is everything for right now. I hope you guys have an awesome week. And let's see, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else I missed? Can you guys think of anything else that I can elaborate on before I go? Don't want to leave you guys hanging on anything. Definitely want to keep you informed with what we have going on. uh, it's a lot bigger than a PS5. Uh, yeah, because I think what PS5 is like. I actually don't have a game station, so I don't know what to reference a PS5 to. If it's anything like a regular old PlayStation, I think it's like double the size of a PlayStation. So um, it's probably like five of those, five PS5s. How long can it last? The lifespan. Yeah, no. I used to play games, but not anymore. It just takes up too much time. But so the life cycle of them is a minimum of 10 years, depending on how you cycle it. And there's a battery management system in there to help it for longevity. So they can last from, depending on how you cycle it, to from 15 to even 25 years, um, compared to a lead acid battery, which has a lifespan of, if you cycle it pretty hard, like 2.5 years to about, if you're really conservative, you could probably get six years out of it. But the depth of discharge compared to a lead acid and a lithium ion battery is 50% compared to 90+%. So, oh yeah, of course, it has to. It has to have a BMS, and it has communication as well. So, with if you have an existing solar system, whatever inverter type that you use, it has a communication port that you can have that with, and you can monitor it with your monitoring device. So, um, not quite. We don't have our own software just yet. That takes a long time to develop, and we need to have something out first before we have that next step. So it'll continually get better and better and better as we move on. But I think this is a pretty good first step as a product. So yeah. Oh, and we'll be doing, once we actually receive the material or the products, then we'll be doing giveaways, of course. So if you want to win that, stay tuned for the contest that we'll be holding. Um, Unfortunately, for the time being, the battery giveaway will have to be most likely either in the U.S. or I'll have to look at the regulations for Europe. I believe the batteries should be able to be used in Europe, no problem. The only difference is the inverter type that you'll be using. So we won't be able to do any installations there, but if you are wanting to order it at least and have someone else install it, that's always an option that you could do in Europe. Here in the States, we can have the installation done for you, no problem. So All right. I think that is officially all that I have. I'll hang on for a little bit longer just in case anyone else has more questions. Oh, I forgot to address Tom's comment. Let's see. So the 10 kilowatt hour would depend on the energy consumption of the home or whatever it's hooked up to. Um, yes. So on a full charge, you'll have 10 kilowatt hours regardless. Um, on if you had a solar hookup, then something like that. Let's say you had like a 5 kilowatt solar array, then you would actually be able to keep up with most of your home loads just with the solar alone, and it'll charge it up relatively quickly. Probably from, let's say you got it depleted down to zero, which the BMS won't let it go quite down to zero, but let's say 10% to 100% will be able to get charged up in about 2 hours or so on 2 hours of full sunlight. So so the 10 kilowatt hours, probably the output would be more so like 5 kilowatt hours at a time. So it gives you two about 2 hours worth of usage if you're using it at full capacity or half capacity but full output. But for the most part, you're not going to be using 5 kilowatt hours at a time, unless you had a lot of stuff running. So yeah, I think we're going to turn away from Gleam for this next giveaway, especially since it'll be an actual product. It'll be hard to list a product on Gleam and give it away. So it'll be more of a social media slash AMAs type thing. So definitely stay tuned for that. And again, to be clear, that won't take place until we at least start receiving notice that the product is about to be at port or is already in a warehouse here, just so we don't cause any further delays, because we know delays are the most annoying thing. You don't want to have a prize and then it ends up taking longer than what you're anticipating. Same with the orders. So we want to make sure that we have that timeline as tight as possible so that it's as accurate as possible. So, all right, that is all I have for right now. I'm officially going to head out, and I hope you all have an excellent rest of the week. Stay tuned for that podcast dropping out this week, and stay tuned for the fuel battery photos and some information on it. So, all right. I love you all. Take care. Signing out.